Lead really can be turned into gold by removing 3 protons. This can't be done through chemical processes, but it is possible using physics. It has been achieved in a particle accelerator, and at a nuclear facility in Siberia in 1972, the lead shield of an experimental reactor developed small fragments of gold. Unfortunately, the cost of the energy required far outweighs the value of the resulting gold. I was having a particularly rough day a while back. Spent most of it in bed because I was just feeling really weak. And I was up at one point. I got up from my armchair to adjust the thermostat and I collapsed. This happens sometimes. It's usually a blood pressure thing, but that day my legs were just too weak and down I went. So I crawled over to the open window, grabbed a blanket, and I just sat there with the breeze blowing in on my face. When I collapse like that, I kind of collapse on the inside too, because there's not much difference between a healthy person in an armchair with a book and a sick person in an armchair with a book. But there's a really big and noticeable difference between walking and collapsing on the floor. So when that happens, all the frustration, all the pain and depression and disappointment and futility just come rushing in. But as I sat there on the floor, God met me. It was like He lifted my eyes and just gave me faith to trust Him and to trust what He's doing in my life. And as I surrendered, just surrendered to trust, His peace just filled me. It was like it just washed over me with every gust of the cold wind and the rain that was blowing in on my face. And that moment was transmuted because He was there. I say transmuted because I think that alchemy is a beautiful picture of what He does, turning heavy darkness into gold. My moment of defeat was turned into glory. And this is just what He does. He works out everything for the good of those who love Him. In Paul's letter to the Corinthians, he says that we go from glory to glory in the process of our transformation. Some people seem to go from one brilliant success to another, but probably for most of us, life isn't like that. Life might be a hard and dark road, but God meets us along the way. I mean, He's always there, but there are these moments where we see Him more clearly, where we hear His voice or feel His presence. And so we go from glory to glory to glory. Now, I don't know if there exists some yet undiscovered method of efficiently turning lead into gold, but I know who walks beside me in the valley of the shadow of death. I know that there are springs of life-giving water and heavenly rains that fall in the valley of weeping. And I know the one who walked out of his grave. He said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And we, who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory, are being transformed into His likeness from glory to glory. Thanks for watching, and check back next week. I'll be sharing a couple of poems I wrote, which is not something that I do, but I've shared them with a few people, and so far they pass muster, so that should be fun. See you next week.